What is up? And I am Randy, and today we're bringing you a Sky Striker deck profile. Now, the age of Sky Strikers might be long and gone. Some of us have those memories of, say, being engaged over and over and over again, but this deck does have some rogue potential still as being a spell-centric oriented deck. Say, basically went from, say, what it was to more of a spell control variant, and it can do some pretty crazy things with the extra deck because, they are level 4s and they can, say, with the additional rows, can special summon out and get a good, say, rank 4 play going. So it's a budget deck now because everything's been reprinted to hell. So if you're definitely on a budget and you're looking for something interesting and you always want to try Sky Striker out, definitely pick it up. It's a really fun deck, really interesting, but without further ado, let's just get right into it. Of course, because it is Sky Striker, we have 3 red, I say 3 Ray, 3 Engage was the thing, the big meme. But Ray, if you don't know what Ray does, just look it up. I'm not going to feed the meme by continually saying what Ray does, but Ray does some good stuff. It's a really good card. But now we have the new Sky Striker Rose. She's basically another name for the deck, which is really good. Really nice. She can special summon herself out from the hand if you, I see normal summon or special summon a Sky Striker Ace monster, so you just normal summon Ray, you can normal summon Rose, so you have that option. Then our dual tech, because I always figured Sky Striker is a spell-centric deck, and it needs Ray out, so another way you can get to Ray is with Summoner Monk, and with Zeke now, you can easily just go into a rank 2 play, just get off Summoner, and let's say I get Summoner Monk off the board, and plus the deck is almost all spells anyway, so right there is free fodder for Summoner Monk to go into, and if it is a card, you can just bring it back with Kagari anyway, so I like the little synergy it has with the deck. Now for hand traps, 2 Ash Blossom, and then 2 Ghost Ogre. This is what I thought just to put in, just to test out with it. I like it so far. Obviously you can always change up these ratios however you want. It's up to you. I see if you prefer something else over these two, just go for it. But that is it for the monsters. That's it. Now we're going to go to your Sky Striker spells, which are pretty much the whole deck itself. 2 Jamming Wave. Some people have it at 1. Because we do run Desires, you always want to have that option. You don't banish all your copies of 1 card. So 2 Jamming Waves, 1 Multi-Roll. Maybe come back to 2, but probably won't. But see, Multi-Rolls is a good card because it protects your spells from being stopped, so you can get your effects off, and also you can wait just a mass set, say, from your graveyard at the end phase, so it's crazy. 2 Widow Anchor, came back to 2 off the most recent or the last most recent ban list, so it's at 2. It might come back to 3, but this is pretty much your main disruption for the deck. It's just basically Mind Control, I say 2.0. Then, of course, 2 Afterburner. Just pops a monster and pops a back row if you control, say 3 or more spells, which you'll most likely have. So definitely 3 Afterburner. 3 Shark Cannon. It's kind of your Cold by the Grave for the deck, so definitely have that. It's really good. I see more disruption for your opponent's graveyard because a lot of stuff is graveyard centric these days. It definitely helps just to rip something out of their graveyard that they need for their combo piece. 2 Area Zero, actually. I know getting Ray is more important than ever now with the deck, but I figure with Summoner Monk, I can maybe cut down on the field spell a little bit. I've been seeing it really quite well with only at 2, and plus we have Terraforming as well on top of that, so definitely, if you are more comfortable rocking it at 3, just go for 3. Then, of course, the one-off, Eagle Booster, just protection during your opponent's, turn, so your, monster won't get ran over. And then 1 Sky Striker, Hornet Drones. It's another starter for the deck. That's pretty much all what it is. Maybe come back, probably not, but so you can always dream. For the non-Sky Striker spells now, 2 MSTs to pop your own, your Area Zero, or it's also just MST in general. It's just a good backroll removal deck. The 1 Double or Nothing, because yes, Double or Nothing build. So Utopia Double, a 10k beater going after your opponent. It's still an insane thing you can do. So say 1-off Double or Nothing. The other, Widow Anchor of the deck, Mind Control, really good. It's Mind Control. Of course, the Terraforming to search out your Area Zeros. Then we have two Pot of Desires. Pot of Desires is your just draw to get your combo pieces. Like you have to max out pretty much on draw spells to so you can actually see your combo pieces and see your actual starters for the deck. And of course, draw as well. One Upstart Goblin. I say a 39 card deck is better than a 40. Then, of course, the new addition we have is 3 Pot of Avarice. Maybe I thought about cutting one for the other Area 0 just to maximize, but you can easily make Pot of Avarice live so easily with this deck. Like, it's nuts. Like, you can easily dump 5 monsters to the graveyard, which is weird because it's not a monster-centric deck, but because you burn through so many of your, I say aces, I say from the extra deck, like Hikari or Shizuku, it's ridiculous, so it's nuts. Then, for the other spells we have for the deck, we have 2 Foolish Burials, just to send spells to the graveyard. It's kind of your extra Shizuku, just to send just spells to the graveyard so you can bring them back with Kagari. 1 Mystic Mine, it's necessary because if your opponent combos off, so you need a way to stop them. So definitely 1. If you want, you can bump this up to 2. If you want, or even 3, it's up to you. See, if you want more of a Mystic Mine control striker deck, that's up to you. But Mystic Mine is definitely really good. And then, of course, 1 Rhoda, because you need to see a starter so it searches out your Ray or Rose. It's something you need. Then we have 2 traps. It's just more disruption pretty much of the deck. Sorry, I hit the camera. But 2 Solemn Judgments, you just need to stop your opponent from doing their combos, install them as much as possible so you can just wither them down and just kill them. So 2 Solemn Judgments, if you want to fiddle around with the ratios, go right ahead. Now for the extra deck, 1 Utopia, and 1 Utopia double for your Utopia plays. A 10k beater is still terrifying. I mean, 10,000 damage coming at you is pretty nuts, so definitely this combo is really good, especially if you have really nothing else. It's just 10,000 damage you can throw at your opponent. Then, of course, we have 1 Topological Zero Bowers. It's an evenly matched for the deck that is in your extra deck. I'm surprised I actually don't see this a lot more. If you don't know what he can do, you can't. So you cannot summon or set monsters to any extra monster zone this card points to. So, okay. But then this card gains 200 attack for each banished card. Alright, I mean, it's almost irrelevant for the deck. But if another monster is special summoned to a zone a link monster points to, it doesn't have to be even this. It just has to be any link monster. You can then, while this card's on the field, banish all cards on the field. Non-targeting, nothing. It's just straight up, just everything's gone. Now with Scout Striker being just a 1-card deck, pretty much, it's just a way to easily just break a board. You just summon this out and then just summon to a zone it points to and then just blow up the field and then go off from there. And then what's even more interesting is that during the standby phase of the next turn, after this effect was banished by its own effect, you can special summon it back. So it has a Stardust kind of like recursion for it. So pretty nuts. I don't see why it doesn't get more play for, especially it's like break my board style decks, especially running around, because it's just an evenly matched in the extra deck. It's pretty nuts. Then of course now we have all your aces, your Sky Striker aces. 2 Zeke. Zeke's the new. So we got Dual Overload. It's actually a really nice inclusion of the deck. I have to admit. First off, if it's linked summon, you can target 1 face-up monster in the field, banish it until the opponent's next end phase, so it's just spot removal. And then once per turn, you can target 1 other card you control. It gains 1,000 attack, so it's a way just to push for more damage, which is something you need in a striker. Like it's something just to make the games go by fast. And then 1 Kaina, because Kaina is just another way just to stop your opponent from running you over, just to make a monster not attack that turn. And plus, it's just a way to just kind of cheese into Avarice a little bit as well. So now we have our 3 ofs now, pretty much. We have Shizuku. Shizuku is the one that just adds a Sky Striker spell from your deck, during the end phase. Pretty nice. It's also a nice little, chip to your opponents because all their monsters with 100 attack. It's pretty good. Then we have Hayate. Hayate is the attack directly dumper for the deck, the Foolish Burial for the deck. Basically, she can attack directly, and then if you do, after the battle, after damage calc, you can send 1 striker card, Sky Striker spell, card from your deck to your graveyard, so it just sends stuff. It's also a way to cheese sometimes in Avarice as well, in case you're missing that 1 card, you can just recycle it back to Avarice to get that draw if you're that desperate, which is really nice. And then, of course, now we have 3 Kagari. Kagari is your recursion. It brings back stuff from the graveyard back to your hand. So happy this actually came back to 3 as well. I mean, after the deck got pretty much neutered over and over and over again, and then finally decided to die after they got rid of Engage, Kagari was now basically the only way to keep this deck even playable, really, so you can just recur your resources over and over again. There was, at one point, I see when there was only 1 Kagari, there was like Magnetic Reverse. That was a way to bring back your Kagari over and over again, kind of like a pseudo way. But this has been my Sky Striker deck profile. I mean, it's just a fun deck. It's just fun. I mean, will it ever be competitive again? I mean, if you play right and you side right, you could maybe take some games from like the top cut decks now, but it's pretty much a rogue deck these days. Like, it still does some cool things. It just does what Sky Striker does best, but slower. It's pretty much what the deck is at this point. But if you enjoyed the video, leave a like, comment, and subscribe. And hope you guys are being safe wherever you are. And until my next video, bye-bye.